In this webinar, we're going to be using publicly available information about the Bank of America to illustrate a couple of things. Most importantly, how you can organize the strategic objectives into the different perspectives of the balanced scorecard or whatever framework you choose to use. But you'll also see many of the other practices that we've been talking about so far in action. So, with the Bank of America in 2006, they produced their annual report, and inside the annual report, the CEO outlined a number of key strategic objectives and mission statements that the organization needs to move towards. We're going to use this as the foundation. We're going to use the balanced scorecard in the four perspectives of financial, customer, internal, and enablers. Now, if we take a look at what the CEO wrote, one of the things he outlined was the overall mission for the organization, which is about building a financial services company, etc. So we'll just put that up at the top. We're not going to measure against it, but that's sort of the North Star, the big vision that we're going to move towards. But if we take a look at what he wrote, we can frisk it for strategic objectives. For example, one objective he describes is improving our financial returns. Well, that's going to go into the financial perspective. A second thing he outlined was broadening our revenue mix. Again, another financial statement. In here I found that he talked about the customers, and in particular Bank of America's challenge and desire to help solve their customers' financial needs. He also outlined internally how they have to learn how to better cross-sell their products, and in fact how to bundle their solutions into things that make more sense to their customers. Then he talked about a couple of enablers, process innovation and building the skill base. So what I've done is taken the list of objectives that he outlined and organized them into the various perspectives that they seem to fit. Now, the second step of building a strategy map is to outline the cause and effect relationship. So now I've put the objectives in the right perspective. I'm going to move them around until they create a reasonable story. Now in this case, it works as follows. Overall, they obviously have to improve returns. To do that, there's two things they need to do. One is they need to broaden their revenue mix, and if they broaden the revenue mix, that will help improve return. And secondly, they've got to help solve their customers' financial challenges. And if they do that, that will improve their returns. Now, solving the financial challenges, if I do that correctly, will also broaden the revenue mix. How do we solve the challenges? Well, again, there's two things we need to do. One is we have to learn how to cross-sell our products, and if we can better cross-sell them, that will help us better solve our customers' financial challenges, and if we cross-sell them, that will help broaden our revenue mix. In order to cross-sell our products, we need to learn how to bundle them. So if we bundle them, we're both going to solve the cross-selling issue and our financial challenges of our customers. And then underpinning all of it are the objectives of process innovation and build the skill base. So once the objectives have been put into the right perspective, you need to understand and explain the cause and effect relationship with these arrows. Try to keep the arrows to 1 or 2 per strategic objective. Keep the model nice and simple. This is a bit like paving the cow paths. You just want to show the most common, busiest, important relationships. Obviously, everything supports everything else, and you could just draw arrows between all the objectives and each other. The final step that we'll talk about shortly is how do I weight this? This might be your strategy that you'll be maintaining for the next 5 years, but the focus or weighting will change over time based on your successes and failures in the marketplace, the economy, the competition, and so forth. So in this case, they've put a strong focus, if you look at anything weighted over 15%, on process innovation so that we can bundle our solutions in aid of cross-selling our products and solving financial challenges. So this is a very operational focused near-term strategy to take advantage of investments they've made in past years. So again, overview, take existing documents, frisk it for the key strategic objectives, place those in the right perspectives, draw the cause and effect arrows, weight them. Sounds simple. It's a bit more complicated when you try to do it in your own organization. It's also important to note that the strategy map should only have 7 to 10 objectives in it. At the top level, that's all that's important. As you cascade it down to departments, by the time you add up in a typical organization, say 7 departments, each having 10 objectives, we're now going to have a total of 70 objectives at the next level down. So part of the trick is to determine which objectives are at the top of the house and which ones are actually cascaded objectives that would normally show up in some department that describes their contribution to the overall strategy. So in this case, the objective of cross-sell products manifests itself differently in each department depending on their role that they're supposed to do to help achieve that overall objective. The other thing is this: you don't necessarily need to build this top of the house strategy map first. It's nice, but it only happens about 10 or 20% of the time. Normally we'll start off in some department and build that strategy model there, and then based on that take it up to the leadership team to have it vetted and approved, and gradually we begin establishing the framework of how we deploy this in the organization.